And maybe even top five scariest moments for me at that age. And in all honesty, I really wanted to tell my mom to, I'm not gonna go. Let's just go home. But my curiosity got the better of me about the trip and about learning more about colleges, because I did want to go to college since I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 5. I knew I had to. So my curiosity about the trip got the better of me, and I ended up going, and it was probably one of the best things that I could have done. The first trip I went on, we went to Houston, and the school that stood out to me, of course, was University of Houston. Go Cougs! Also, I guess I didn't realize that March Madness was the theme, but my school, it's Sweet 16, so once again, go Cougs! But the University of Houston stood out to me because of how diverse the student body was and how big the campus was. And also, for some reason, I remember on the trip that they were telling us about how Lil Wayne had went there before he dropped out. I'm not sure if that was supposed to seal the deal or what, but I remember that. So, but a year or two later, when it came time to actually apply to colleges, I remember going on that college tour and seeing the campus. And I ended up going to do more research about the school and what they offered, if there was anything that I would be more interested in going. And I found their 3+3 pre-law program, which Ms. Millette also informed you. Just to elaborate a little bit more. It's so 3 years of undergrad and then 3 years of law school. So the traditional 4 years of college, that fourth year, my senior year, was my first year of law school. So the way it worked is that I would be a 1L in law school, but I hadn't graduated from undergrad yet. So my first year of law school was kind of like my third minor that I needed for my liberal studies degree. And so that's how that worked out. So while I was taking 1L finals, I was also trying to graduate from undergrad, also during COVID, so total mess. And so I found out about the pre-law, the 3+3 pre-law program, and I filled out the interest form, and I was so nervous that I wouldn't get into it. But eventually I heard from the director, Professor Allison Leland, who was one of my mentors to this day. She still tries to get me to do many things. But I had gotten in, and so I got accepted to the University of Houston and the Honors College, which is part of what you have to get accepted into to be in the 3+3 program, which is where the Phronesis minor also comes from. It's mainly like philosophy and ethics and law, and it's a lot, a lot of reading. But once I got into the University of Houston and into the Honors College, I also received a scholarship. And along with the scholarship that I got from UH, I also was fortunate to receive a scholarship from the Waco Housing Authority. And because of all of the scholarships that I received and grants, I was able to graduate from undergrad debt-free. Thank you. Had it not been for the Go to College tour with Waco Housing Authority, I would not have known about the University of Houston, because at that time, it wasn't really a well-known school. I would tell people where I was going or where I went to school, and they would be like, University of Houston, I don't really know that school. But even if I was able to find it through the research that I did, I wouldn't have felt comfortable going to the University of Houston had it not been for going on the college trip and seeing the campus and meeting with some of the students and hearing their stories. I also had other firsts on the Go to College trip. So another really big one was when one year we went to Washington, D.C. And it was my first time getting on a plane. Did I mention that I'm afraid of heights? So that one, I couldn't do it I couldn't go on that trip by myself. I had to convince one of my friends to go with me, even though it didn't take that much convincing because it's DC. So during that trip, I figured out what the National Mall actually was. Heads up, it's not a mall. And I got to see the Martin Luther King statue, which was really, really inspiring. The only thing I didn't get to do that I really wanted to do was meet President Obama. I'm pretty much over it, but overall, the college trips were a great experience, and there were many scary firsts, but necessary firsts. I think that all of the students in Housing Authority properties should be able to experience something like the college tours. I also think there are other experiences that can be had through the Housing Authority, whether it's after-school programs with speakers and activities, or some sort of summer program, or even showing the students other avenues outside of traditional college like military or vocational schools. These initiatives will allow the students to be exposed to more experiences and will in turn create more success stories from those that grow up in Housing Authority properties. And I look forward to seeing them. So, as Ms. Millett said, I currently am an attorney at the Pierre Firm PLLC in Houston. The route that I got there was through experiences that I had from undergrad and also in law school. So being an attorney, the first thing that comes to your mind is being in a courtroom, someone litigating and defending their client. I don't really do so much of that. I more so do like the transactional side, where I form contracts, go over contracts, and help our clients in that regard. And I actually didn't know that was a type of lawyer until my first year of law school. And so I just think that allowing students to be able to see these experiences younger, they will be able to explore those opportunities sooner, and we will have many more success stories. And yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Jazmyne, for sharing your journey. Your story is so inspiring. I need to work a little harder. I mean, I'm telling you. And I want to say, thank you you articulated it so well. And I also want to just shout out to Millett and her team at the